Nature is such a strange word for me, I think, at this point in time, because nature in the now is including this like technological age. And who's to say that that's not nature in some way, or that, you know, the consciousness of AI or the internet isn't silica gaining traction and expressing itself and learning through us, a carbon-based consciousness. I definitely think that being in Boulder County, there's a really specific demographic that comes to the table of alternative medicine.
This podcast is brought to you by B Micro, organic freeze-dried microgreens for easy, everyday nutrition. Sprinkle them on any meal and enjoy the benefits. Shop now at bmicro.farm and use PLANT15 to save 15% off your next order.
To expand on that, we are now labeling plants as alternative medicine, which almost touches on the whole thing, like the whole disconnection piece or picture for me, is that we evolved alongside plants. We evolved alongside their medicinal uses, and plants who have weathered millions, if not more, years of evolution to sort of learn to interact with their environment in a specific way through a specific pattern of constituents or through like different physical attributes and appearances. We've evolved alongside those beings. We have not really evolved alongside modern medicine for that long. And of course, modern medicine in this day and age is essentially like compounding extrapolated parts of plants, constituents of plants. And we're now calling, you know, the thousands of years of evolving alongside a group of beings an alternative practice.
I think that's a great thing for people to be reminded of, is that we've had thousands of years relationship with these plants, like working together. It's like these plants, the more we eat these plants, the more we plant them, the more we care for them. It's in the plant's best interest to be in partnership with us many times as well. So we've learned how to work with each other. I think a great example is the hemp plant, maybe the longest relationship that I'm aware of a plant and human. And we have a whole endocannabinoid system that is like lock and key, able to receive many of the benefits of that plant. And then it can make everything from food and medicine to clothing. It's just like, whoa, there's so many ways to work with many of these plants. These plants aren't just like, it's not like a new thing. It's like we've been in deep relationship for a very long time, and they know how to work with us, and we've lost a lot of the knowledge on how to work with them. And a lot of, I think most modern day medicine is derived from these plants in a way where it can be patented and then sold for a lot of money.
Yeah, the sold aspect, I think, is quite a sad piece. And, you know, herbalism used to be in the hands of the masses. You didn't have to be a physician to practice herbalism. And you don't now, but I think in the West we have this idea of, if I'm not an expert on it, I can't do it. I better outsource that. You know, but even not that long ago, even 2 generations ago, people were even more in touch with growing their own food, and therefore had applications for these plants that they observed and cultivated relationships with and experimented with. And it didn't have to be so like shiny in the white coat to empower yourself through food sovereignty, empower yourself through, you know, even like the smallest possible kitchen herbal first aid kit. And I think that is a huge pulse of my mission and how I want to practice is when a client comes in to see me, I want to talk about how they can interact with the world and interact through this cultivation of relationship to the plants that they're utilizing. Because it's one thing for me to be like, okay, here you go, and I can know that this formula will work on so many different levels and tissue states and, you know, patterns and so forth. But if a person doesn't have connection to these plants or any context or any imagery or story or something that's not so sterile as like, here is this extraction of herbs in a bottle, go take it. If they don't have context to these plants, how is that creating relationship to place, relationship to yourself, relationship to the greater world, relationship to all who have walked before you in your lineage? If we're also using herbs that we don't biochemically recognize, I think that that's also beautiful and so powerful in a way to explore these new terrains biochemically. But what were the traditional foods and the traditional herbs of my ancestors, of your ancestors, of the ancestors of my client? And, you know, in the Western world, it's almost a privilege to know where we come from and still have this innate knowledge or direct connection to traditional lifeways of our ancestors or of our lineage, because we've lost so much connection to eldership and therefore stewardship and therefore kind of everything, in my opinion.